Step number 1. On the 10th day of October, year not specified, I went to an address on West 46th Street. The establishment is run by my uncle. I'm Albert P. Bonacorsi, Assistant District Attorney, Borough of Manhattan, City of New York. At the appointed time, first-grade detective Frank Lavelle arrived at the wig shop.
Sure didn't need this today. It's like spring out.
Yeah, me too. Shannon's late.
I just heard from him. He won't make the meeting.
What do you mean he won't make it? I put the message through myself.
Well, maybe you forgot. You gave him the next 3 days off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, I did. He's got to work this one. Afraid I'll have to cancel out.
I already did. Said he couldn't make it here, so I set up a meeting an hour in Central Park.
Good. Where is he?
I don't know, someplace in Forest Hills.
Kind of eating high off the hog, isn't he?
Yeah. Maybe he's trying out for the Davis Cup team. Al, this stuff's fierce. You sure your uncle isn't piping it in from Italy?
Here. Take a look at this.
It's unsigned. Think it means anything?
We know it does. Narcotic squads had a rumble on that joint for months now. Everybody they've put in there gets burned before they can make a contact.
Looks like a woman's handwriting. Got any ideas?
One, maybe. Shannon might be able to make it prove up.
I'm a little slow this morning. I know this place. It's as rough as a cob. One of the boys from 21st Precinct caught a meat cleaver in the small of his back. He's still taking all of his meals in a wheelchair.
That's right. Happened in the alley behind the place. Officer was on routine patrol duty.
Never did pin down who threw that cleaver. A lot of stores back up on that alley.
No meat markets, and only one restaurant.
Alberto! Alberto!
Sì, zio Giulio. My uncle.
Per piacere, dammi quella parrucca bionda lì sopra la forma sul tavolo.
He sure keeps his part of the bargain, doesn't he? Never comes back in here when I'm on a case.
What does the city pay him for the use of the hall?
He's a good citizen. Once a month, we give him a 1-pound can of that Italian coffee.
Grazie, Alberto. E dimmi, chi è quello lì con te che si lamenta tanto del mio caffè?
Un buon amico, zio. Il suo nome è Frank Lavelle.
Lavelle? Lavelle. E che cosa ne può sapere un francese di caffè?
You talking about me?
Yes, we were.
What'd he say?
He wanted to know, what does a Frenchman know about coffee?
Sorry to loss up your weekend.
Oh, that's all right, Lavelle. Good-looking blonde invites me to spend 3 days on her daddy's yacht. I get those offers all the time.
Good. And you won't miss it this time. The DA's got a job for you.
Let's have it. I gotta go home and unpack.
This unsigned letter came to the office. I'll save you the time. Claims that pushers are operating out of a hash house uptown.
Yeah? Where?
Columbus Avenue, the 140 grill. The letter also says the woman who owns the place is clean. She's got to play ball or she winds up dead.
I take it she's the one who rode in.
Could be, we don't know. That's why we want you to run it down.
What are they pushing?
Schmack. No word on how they pass it.
Maybe this letter's from a crank. The whole deal might be a phony.
If I were you, I'd hope it falls that way. You'll get all your toys back.
What's that mean?
The blonde, the yacht, and the weekend.
Step number 2. According to my instructions, Shannon began to frequent the restaurant, posing as an out-of-work musician. After 2 days of observation, he selected 2 of the regular customers as his marks.
Hey, Tom. Like if the shadow bit is for real, you better write in for the other 10 lessons.
I saw you packing your horn. I thought maybe you knew where I could scrounge a gig.
Sorry, Tom. We got to split.
Don't put Tom down. I've been oblong myself. I know how it feels. You got a local pass?
Yeah,
A little behind in your ties, huh? What do you blow?
Fender.
Can't think of a hole right now. You look bent and spent.
I need bread, man.
Tell you what, Tom. You fall by this session next weekend. A Taj Mahal called Moe's in the village. There'll be a lot of the populance there. You might get your ticket punched.
I can't make it.
You that tapped out?
Look, I'll play the chorus. I hucked my Fender this morning, so it's not the loot I need.
How you gonna blow a gig without your Texas harp?
That don't bug me. I'll bail it out. Right now, I'm flat. I need a pop.
We don't think you're jazz, Tom. Come on, Woody, let's split.
Don't be a drag, man. You really shook out?
I just blew in town last week. I can't get a connection. I haven't had a fix in 2 days.
Come on, Woody, this cube is giving us a short tilt.
Don't drop me, you guys. By sundown, I'll be cutting wire. I'm not holding a tambourine. I got the scratch.
Let's go, Tom. Like if we stand here much longer, we gonna come down with pavement rash. How do you like the pad, Tom? Early cave.
You got any scoff?
No food, Tom. It's unhealthy. That stuff'll kill you.
Hey, now, let's dig some plastic plates. What do you say, group?
We got some wild sides, Tom. A gang of hip Frank bucks just blew in from the safari. You dig? Well, this one rock cracker brought back some tapes on this Amazon pygmy blowing a bone in a piece of tin. One of the other Tom Thumbs knocks a bamboo flute. It's a gas, man. Drop that jungle jazz biscuit first, huh, Smile?
What's the name of that album again?
Ingagi. Know what that means, Tom?
No, why?
Gorilla. Man, that's wild. Who cut that side?
Yeah, that rhythm is a gas. But I can't make that melody. Hey, let's drift over to Moe's and case the action.
Dig him, Tom. He smiles the most, don't he? He wore out 3 faces already.
I've been smiling for 6 years now. Off and on, of course.
Where'd you say you were from, Tom?
Florida.
Crocodile City, huh?
Yeah. I used to job around down there. Only time I ever did any good was New Year's Eve.
This is the scene, man. NY, the Big Apple.
Hey, you guys really want to wig out? Dig this. The New York Public Library.
What's there?
Just imagine that whole castle filled with H, clean to the top.
Buddy could handle that gig and have enough left over to plug up the Holland Tunnel.
Who's Buddy, your connection?
Yeah, that bimbo down at Heartburn Center.
I figured him for a pusher. How's he pass the paper?
Easy. Just ask him for a box of matches when you pay your check. Then hand over the loot with it.
What about his prices?
60 stones.
60 bucks? You're kidding. One paper?
There's 3 of us, ain't there, Tom?
Step number 3. Late that night, Shannon entered the restaurant just before closing time and ordered coffee.
Closing time. 3 boxes of matches.
You'd be ahead if you bought a cigarette lighter.
I camp out.
Lock the door, Vera. In the kitchen.
You got the wrong boy. I shaved once today.
All right, punk. Work that job before I bust it.
Smile and Woody.
They're a couple of cheap junkies.
They say they're big customers of yours.
Yeah? They drink a lot of coffee.
Look, you saw the color of my money. I tested for one of the big men on the coast for a couple of years. He'll be in town next weekend.
What do you want me to do, find him a room?
He's looking for a buy, a big one, high-grade stuff.
How do I know you're you?
Look, either you've got the junk or you haven't. You want a piece of a big buy or don't you?
Okay. Try it. This stuff's got enough power to put you on the moon.
You don't have to be that good, pal. You can get there by rocket.
Right where you are, I'll do. You can put your hands up or not. Depends on how fast you want to die. And that's how it is, mister. I'm sick of you cheap hopheads.
Why single me out?
Nobody puts a stopwatch on a boiling pot. Sooner or later, it just runs over.
How's it help killing me?
One less, that's all. And maybe you'll serve a purpose.
How's that?
I've tried before. Every time I've threatened to go to the cops, he says he'll swear I'm in this rotten business with him. He's right, it's gone too far. I couldn't prove he was lying. If I kill you, it'll bring on a big investigation. If I'm going to be involved, it won't be on his terms.
Let me say something.
It's just like that filthy dope he peddles. He wormed his way into my restaurant, and almost overnight I was worse off than one of his addicts. I used to run a decent place, mister. I made a good living. And now it's his. A gathering place for every dope fiend in the city.
You know how hard it is to talk with a gun pointed right at your belly.
Give me one good reason I should put it down.
Me?
You got a nice smile. You can die with it.
All right, you've had the floor. Let me on for a minute. I don't want you to make a mistake.
What do you do now? Rip off your shirt and show me your Mountie uniform?
I wish I could. It might take your finger off that trigger. Now listen close. You might only give me the chance to say this once. I'm not on the stuff. I never have been. I've got an oversized beef with that guy that took over your restaurant. An army buddy. He died from an overdose. Your friend in there put it in his hand.
There's one piece missing. Who are you?
The guy that lost his best friend.
Suppose I don't believe you.
It's simple, isn't it? You've got the gun.
What's your name?
Boys call me Tom.
You got a last name?
What's the difference? You never heard it before. Here. This ought to cover my pedigree.
You better go over it slow, mister. I'm tired and I don't understand.
All right. Here's how it plays. I want to see him hang as much as you do. I got 3 boxes in my pocket that put him closer to the rope than you can. But this much I know. I can cut him down. It won't do any good unless I get the guy on top of him.
What if I tell you? What'll you do then?
Give me one more thing and I'll take the whole package to the cops.
What's that?
Where does he keep the stuff in the restaurant?
I'll give it to you in order. The only other guy in it is Gorton's brother. His name is Monty. They hide the stuff in the kitchen. There's a false panel underneath the sink.
A minute ago, it was the other way around, wasn't it?
How do you mean?
You're on the other side of the gun now. Show me. Step number 4. According to plan, Shannon, Frank Lavelle, his contact man, and myself met in the back room of my uncle's wig shop on West 46th Street.
Then she took you back in the restaurant?
That's right.
I'd say there's about a half a kilo in that compartment under the sink.
How does the stuff get to the restaurant?
Vera doesn't know for sure. She thinks it comes in by boat. Gordon's brother, Monty, is the pickup man, but she doesn't know the details.
She have any idea when another shipment is due?
She told me she heard there's one coming in soon. Doesn't know when.
We need that information before we can move in. These things are all alike, aren't they? Tag them before we have every link in the chain, and we have to fumigate all over again.
How's your timetable from here on?
Vera said she put in overtime on it. If she can come up with some answers, we'll meet tonight after they close up. Central Park.
If she's got anything, pass the word tonight.
Will do.
We'll stand by. A phone call from you will put a crowd in the place.
This Vera, she's got a lot of backbone, hasn't she?
No question about that. She told me she's the one that wrote that letter. When she figured she wasn't getting any action, she was willing to try for it the hard way.
You sure she's straight with you? Not talking out of both sides of her mouth?
I don't know. How do you judge character in a dark alley with a gun pointed at you?
All right. Keep an eye in the rearview mirror. If Gordon gets hinky, we're right back at the starting line.
Say, Lavelle,
Yeah?
you're a hipster. You're with all this jazz stuff.
Some of it? Why?
Well, these two Birdland Beatles, Woody and Smile, they keep calling me Tom. Mean anything?
Yeah, it's hip talk for square.
Oh, somebody who doesn't have sense to pour sand in a rat hole. A patsy.
Kind of a guy who just ain't with it, or else he wouldn't be doing what he's doing, you know?
Yeah. Like being a DA's man.
Step number 5. That night, as planned, Shannon met Vera in Central Park.
I heard him talking. I think the stuff is coming in tomorrow. Maybe the day after.
How?
In a gray panel truck. Says dairy products on the side. Monty sits with the driver. They stop in front. Monty brings it in. It's usually in a large tomato can like the one you saw last night.
How much is coming in, do you know?
I don't know. They didn't say. Anything else I can do?
You might start looking around for a good fry cook.
Oh?
You're gonna be back in business real soon.
Step number 6. Shannon immediately relayed the information. Orders were issued to cover the restaurant closely for the next 48 hours.
It's only us, honey.
Hi, Monty.
Where you been?
No place. I took a walk.
You were out with a guy, honey. A friend of ours saw you.
That junkie, they call him Tom. What about it?
He tried to pick me up, that's all.
Just like all women. You talk all the time, or you don't talk at all. You remember the last time you looked in the mirror? If you get there again, it ain't gonna be the same dame.
I got a better idea.
Oh.
Hold her here. Get something to put in her mouth. I got a feeling she's gonna want to talk now. Oh. Cold as ice. They usually hit the steaming in about an hour. Come on, Molly.
I tell you what, honey, if that pipe gets too hot, you just open the window.
Man, the big noise from Winnetka.
You two really in our car, don't you?
We want a friend of yours. His name's Tom. You sent him to us.
He's a real Tom. We ain't had any skin since we pointed him at you.
Where's he live?
Nowhere, man. He just fell into town. Still looking for a pad.
Where is he?
Hey, Clyde, don't go throwing so much weight around. We laid it on you. We don't know where Tom is.
All right, Hotshot. Go find him. You go help him.
Step number 7. We took up our positions as part of the surveillance on the 140 grill.
Al, where's Shannon?
Supposed to meet Vera, isn't he? Central Park.
They got him made.
How do you know?
Those two junkies that gave Shannon the send-in, they're both dead. Homicide found the bodies about an hour ago.
One of them's inside the truck. Keep him busy. I'll see if I can pry the other one loose. Gun down. You're covered front and back. All right, I've had enough.
This one's only going to be here long enough to say goodbye. Better get an ambulance.
Ryan's making the call.
Anything on Shannon?
I'm going to check in. Maybe they got word downtown.
This is his brother. Wanted to know if he could see him before we took him in.
Make it quick, fella, if you want him to see you.
I'm not even gonna bend down, Carl. You can catch it from up here. We should have closed this operation out months ago. I once told you that. You weren't listening then, but I'll bet you are now. Go ahead, Carl. Bleed.
Take him out of here.
Shannon?
Yeah, Al? What took you so long?
We've been a little busy. First chance I had to call in. We were worried about you. Gordon and his brother nailed those two junkies.
Yeah, I heard.
How? Just happened an hour ago.
You're not the only connection I got downtown.
Where have you been all night?
The safest place in town. I got to thinking about whether I could trust Vera. So I tailed her back to her hotel room. The Gordons paid one call here. I didn't figure they'd drop back.
How about her? Did the Gordons give her any trouble?
Yeah, they roughed her up a little. Wasn't anything I could do about it. I couldn't tip our hand, so I laid low until they left. I figured I might as well stay on here for a while. She's a nice girl. I'd hate to see anything happen to her.
Uh-huh. Better tell her to come down to my office tomorrow morning, around 10.
You think that's a good idea, Al? I mean, before we wrap this up?
I'm surprised. With all your good connections downtown, you don't know?
What do you mean?
We just knocked the place over. The Gordons are in custody. Shannon? Shannon?
I hated to bother Mrs. Field. Sure was nice of her. She let me clean out her icebox. I hope you like cold roast beef.
Sounds fine. Anyway, I can't let you go out to the store. It wouldn't be safe.
It's so late. I just feel terrible asking you to stay, but I'm still pretty nervous.
Forget it. While you were down the hall, I've been thinking it over.
What's that?
Well, now, what kind of a man would leave a woman in real danger?
Well, how about it? Is Shannon all right?
Yeah. He's sitting up with a sick friend.